Hey, welcome back, Podunk News, straight out the cracker box. Hey, that last video I put up has been up there for a little while. I generally do post a video and then hope for some comments and, a little discussion back and forth with people. Um, People do approach me on the street when I'm out in public and they do talk to me about it. Most people recognize the hat. Uh, so I'm out there talking to some folks, and what I've heard from people is, well, don't you think that Hughes had a reason to approach you and talk to you? And my response to that is, if Hughes had done any type of investigating of what was reported to him over a screen, so we got to look at this as what do we call that in school? The telephone effect, where we get a person reporting because of the see something, say something. And then it goes to a dispatcher who may or may not know you or what they're talking about, but they put it in their words from what the person reporting is saying. And they type it a lot of times, to keep it shorter so that it's not a ton of stuff to read on a computer screen while you're driving a car. I would hope, anyways. And then you got the officer interpreting that. So there's one mode that conveys urgency and conveys emotion, uh, and stuff like that. And then there's another type, that really doesn't convey the emotion or any emergency in a situation. And then there's the person who is interpreting that the whole way through, right? And then they get somewhere and they fail to investigate the situation. Because I'm going to tell you, Jack Hughes, I know for a fact that you did not go over to that car and take a picture or even look at the gun that was in that car on the seat. Because you come over and the first thing out of your mouth was, "Is that your car? I need your ID." And then told me that there was a gun on the car. On the car. Not on the seat in the car, but on the car. So you dialed it up kind of a notch, like this was right there and any passerby had access to it, right? So oops. So I challenge you, Hughes, if you're watching this, and if anybody who is watching this knows Jack Hughes, works down at the uh, sheriff's office, clue him in on the video. Ask him yourself. Can you show me a picture of that weapon? That you got a call on, and now you're demanding ID. So one thing I think that's fair to note here is that they can come ask you whatever they want. They can walk up to you and talk to you, whatever. You have a right not to talk to them. Tell them you don't want to talk to them. Walk away from them. Ask them to leave you. They're disturbing your peace. Because it's disturbing your peace. You should have the freedom as a person of Montana and United States that you have rights to be you, right? So you need to stand firm on your own rights before you start letting them down for people who are subservient to you anyways. I mean, they chose to do a job where they have to give up certain rights, right? I mean, they're limited on fourth. They get limited strict, pretty well on a lot of their own rights, right? While they're employed as a public servant, and they raise their hand and they swear to a constitution, two constitutions. They say that they're going to be there for the people. In our Supreme Court says that they're not in charge of protecting us, so that's not their job. And two, you need to do some investigation to make sure that if you're going up to anybody, and you may think it's harmless, but to me, it was offensive. I had an armed thug come up in front of me for no good reason. And I've had people say, well, they thought they had a good reason. Well, I don't think they do. And they can have public opinion on it if they want and say that that's a good reason to come up and check an unsecure or or not secured the way that they think it should be secured handgun. Uh, it's mine. It was in a car that I'm in control of. The doors were closed. The windows were rolled up. It's an air gun. I mean, you look at it the way you look at it, and I'm going to look at it the way the law looks at it. It's not against the law at all. The person that caused the alarm and then ratcheted up the story, escalated it, was Jack Hughes. I don't blame the young gal who went past my car and seen it. I don't blame her for doing what she's been programmed to do, see something, say something. I'm a little upset that a person that I pay to know the law or to investigate possible infractions of the law isn't doing that. So there's some dereliction of duty. There's a process that should be followed, and I'm sure that there is, and it's been trained to them at the academy, I would hope, and then reinforced by the agency that hires them. But I also know that this agency here doesn't train people very well. Our sheriff has violated people's rights. Montana Supreme Court case documented. I'm not lying. I'm not making up things. I'm just pulling his covers. I agree with getting drunk drivers off the road. I agree by doing it the right way and not spending a bunch of taxpayer money because you screwed it up. I'm tired of being made to feel like the government of our community is our master. They are not. So this is what's happening, and this is why I'm doing this. This is why this has gone on for over a year, or what is today, the 20th? A year exactly. I've put in multiple requests for body worn camera footage. They hide it, call it criminal justice, confidential criminal justice information. They keep as much of the record away from you as you can so that you can't hold them accountable by their own. And I tell my clients that. And if you're one of my clients out there watching it, or one of my ex-clients out there watching this, you know what I'm talking about. I tell clients all the time, use their system to prove your rights. So that's what I'm doing. I'm going to demonstrate what I tell people to do, or I guess I'd be a hypocrite. Most people are hypocrites. But I'm not going to be hypocritical on this one. I told my clients, I told my students at Trapper Creek Job Corps, and if any of you see this, I've told you guys over and over and over and over again, stand up for yourself, use their system to prove your rights. Because if they violated them, they violated them. And if you got proof, you got proof. The problem is they don't want to help share that. So they don't have to help you investigate them, like you don't have to help them investigate you. If you didn't commit a crime and you're not under arrest, the best thing I can tell you is have your camera out and be filming it. Camera boys, cops, camera out, and be filming them. Don't talk to them. Don't antagonize them. Don't tell them to go piss up a rope like I do. Let them arrest you. You'll beat the charge if you're right. But if you're wrong, you're going down. That's just the way it is. But they don't see it that way. Make the arrest, get the ID, make an arrest, and then try to make something stick. and waste taxpayer money across the board because it's got to go to justice court, the deputies out there, and most deputies will tell you the majority of their job is either sitting at a desk writing a report or behind a fucking steering wheel patrolling. They get bored and they start doing stuff like this, and then they get the courts to believe them, because before we had these social networks and stuff and the ability is to post, and some brave souls to go out there and do exactly that, post these, let them know how they did wrong, where they did wrong, and what it's going to cost them to make it right. Beginning of this, maybe a room with commissioners and the deputies and the sheriff and an apology could have been something that I would have considered. Now, no, it's been a year. Time to be held accountable. All right, so again, people, when we're talking about what Hughes did that day, I want you to know that I understand that there's a feelings, there's an emotional reason why people support what he did to me. But what he did to me was wrong. So does doing me wrong justify your feelings? Maybe to you it does, but to me it don't. I don't care about your feelings. I really don't. Nobody does. Sticks and stones may break my bones. That's the world I grew up in. You skinned your knee, rub some dirt in it, get it to stop bleeding and carry on. It's the feelings courtrooms we have in Mineral County need to be exposed, and I think this will help do it. I think bringing these cases through, and I'm off the Jack Hughes deal, and I'm sorry. I'm not saying that he doesn't have a right or the ability to come up and start talking to me, but he should do some investigation first to decide whether it's worth coming up and talking to somebody and disturbing their peace just because you got to know or you got to call. This is wrong. We need correct policing. We need to be able to trust our criminal justice system in Mineral County, and we can't, because they hide stuff. They hide behind laws that they made up to protect them. Montana does not have a what's it called? Qualified immunity for our state and our justice folks, criminal justice folks. So if they do something wrong, there is recourse that we can do. And I'm going to demonstrate that especially for my ex-clients, and so that I don't feel like such a fucking hypocritical heel anymore for not doing it before. So this is where it's going to start, folks. I'm going to document the whole thing through. Please, if you got stories, get a hold of me. You know me. You recognize the hat. You come up to me on the streets. Come talk to me about your stories. Be willing to come to the Cracker Box here. We'll sit down. We'll record it. We'll talk about it. We'll dissect it. We'll try to get the information we need. We'll post it. Even if you can't sue or anything like that and hold them accountable, let's at least get it out there so people know that this is what's going on in our community. So this is a plea to community so that we can change the way our local government works. And even if you feel the other way and you're like, hey man, you're absolutely wrong, then comment on that and let's discuss it. But be open for a discussion, because I am. And don't take the fact that I like to cuss as being demeaning to you or trying to intimidate you. It's just the way I fucking talk. And you can ask most fucking anybody. It's just the person I am and the way I communicate. You may not like it, and I don't like people that like to beat around the bush. So, but we all got to deal with people and assholes we don't like. So I'm open for a discussion. I'm open to sit down in the Cracker Box here, and we can start looking up laws. We can start trying to file paperwork so we can get information. We can start trying to get some type of closure on what I know is a huge frustration, and it keeps us as people of the state of Montana and the United States, the people, from trusting our local government. And that's where it's got to start. Before the guys up at in the White House, fucking, or even our own Senate, whatever, in our state, are not gonna even get the picture until we start pushing in that direction. They beat us back so far that we're timid, we're mice, and I'm done being a sheep. So please, again, if you see this video, know that what Jack Hughes did in his mind was justified and can be justified to many people, cannot be justified to all people, and cannot be justified to the law. I did not break the law. You do not get my ID. And any other officer that decides that they're going to take on the Mineral County Challenge, because this now seems like a challenge, because this is like the, third time that I've had Mineral County Sheriff's deputies approach me while recreating and want ID for recreating. I'm offended that we pay money for that. I'm offended that my tax money goes to feed these people. And I don't care if they got kids. My tax money goes to feed their kids. And they're abusing me, the person paying the taxes. I don't pay everybody's taxes. Don't think I think that. But I pay enough. All right. So, in closing, please comment, like, share. Help me build this channel. Help us build this community. Once I promise, once I'm done with the Mineral County stuff, I am willing to move on to Sanders County, Missoula County. Close. Price of gas. That fucking one guy did it. Brandon, that fucker. He's trying to unalive all of us slowly. So, please. Know that I understand a lot of the views that I've gotten from people on the street about Jack Hughes, but we're not talking about feelings or the what ifs of the world when it comes to the law. We're talking about facts, provable facts. All right, folks, hang in there. I will be back, I promise, and I'll talk to you soon. Have a good day. Bye.